This is Radio Taiwan International.
Welcome to the news on Radio Taiwan International. I'm Joey Chow, coming to you from Taipei, Taiwan, and we begin with a look at today's top stories for 2025, November 4th. President Lai Ching-te vows financial golden age with new asset management center. Premier Zhou says, stand united and no one will have the right or power to violate Taiwan. And improperly processed kitchen waste has been confirmed as source for African swine fever outbreak. But first, today's top story. President Lai Ching-te has said that Taiwan will establish an Asia Asset Management Center, AAMC, to, quote, keep money in Taiwan and manage it ourselves, while also attracting global capitals and ushering what he called a new golden age for the nation's economy. Speaking at an asset management forum on Tuesday hosted by the Commercial Times, Lai said the initiatives aim to strengthen Taiwan's financial independence and leverage its abundant domestic wealth. He says the United States has its golden age and Taiwan should have its own. Lai noted that Taiwan's foreign exchange reserve has exceeded $600 billion. The stock market has surpassed 27,000 points and a capitalization of $3 trillion. And the combined assets of the banking, insurance, and security sectors have topped 130 trillion New Taiwan dollars, approximately $4.2 trillion. Lai emphasized that Taiwan should not rely on investing its insurance or banking assets in foreign bonds, which expose the economy to exchange rate losses. Instead, he said the AAMC will channel those resources into Taiwan's own development and attract international investors.
This way, we can cultivate our own financial talent. Our children can stay in Taiwan to manage the wealth created by the Taiwanese people, without having to go to Singapore or elsewhere. With our abundant capital, international cooperation will create a multiplier effect that will further drive Taiwan's prosperity.
Lai also reaffirmed his administration's three economic pillars: innovation and sustainability, aerospace and ocean exploration, and global outreach, while pledging to expand investment in semiconductors, AI, and defense industries to secure Taiwan's long-term competitiveness. Premier Zhuo Rongtai said peace is based on strength, urging the government and people to unite and make Taiwan strong enough that, quote, no one and no country has either the right or the ability to violate Taiwan. U.S. President Donald Trump, in an October 31st interview with CBS's 60 Minutes, said Chinese President Xi Jinping assured him that Beijing would not take action to unify Taiwan during his presidency, emphasizing that, quote, Xi knows the consequences. Trump, however, did not directly answer whether he would order U.S. forces to defend Taiwan if China used military force. Speaking to reporters before a legislative session on Tuesday, Premier Zhuo reaffirmed that Taiwan is a sovereign and independent nation. He stressed that peace must be safeguarded through national strength.
Peace is also a universal value of humankind. No person or country has the right or qualification to invade Taiwan. The government must unite with the people. We will work to strengthen Taiwan and ourselves so that no one, no country, will have the right or the ability to infringe upon Taiwan.
Trump's remarks came after his first meeting with Xi Jinping since returning to office, to which he routed renewed tariffs and claimed both sides get along great. His comment that Taiwan issue never came up in talks drew attention in Taipei, where officials reiterated that Taiwan's sovereignty and peace are non-negotiable. This Monday, the Central Emergency Operations Center, CEOC, announced that Taiwan's first case of African swine fever, ASF, likely originated from kitchen waste that had not been properly processed to kill pathogens. Public attention has now shifted towards whether the 15-day ban currently imposed on the transportation and slaughter of pigs can be lifted this Friday, with Premier Zhuo Rongtai saying that a decision will be made at a meeting on Wednesday. In an interview before a legislative session, Zhuo stated that the CEOC had suspected from the start that kitchen waste was the source of the outbreak. He said the Agricultural Ministry will only consider re-allowing the use of kitchen waste as pig feed if pig farms are fully compliant regarding proper kitchen waste treatment facilities, effective monitoring of boiling procedures, and adherence to the legal regulations. Zhuo said that in the coming month, the cabinet will launch a follow-up plan to manage the market and stabilize meat prices, with weekly reviews to assess progress. As for the detained father and son pig farmers accused of falsifying business records, he urged judicial authorities to continue their investigation and promptly disclose the truth to the public. Agriculture Minister Chen Junji previously said on Saturday that if no new ASF infections are found outside the affected Taichung farm, the ban on transportation and slaughter could be lifted on November 7. However, the use of kitchen waste as pig feed will not resume until the boiling equipment at all pig farms have been inspected and reviewed. Real-time monitoring of boiling temperatures and video data is implemented, and other legal regulations for the management of food waste are met. He stressed that there is no problem with using kitchen waste as pig feed if it is properly cooked. As part of President Lai Ching-te's 17-point national security strategy, the Interior Ministry's National Immigration Agency, NIA, has launched a large-scale investigation into citizens who have legally registered household status in China, obtained Chinese ID cards, or held Chinese passports. So far, about 50 individuals have had their Taiwanese household registrations revoked by the authorities. According to the Cross-Strait Act, Taiwanese citizens are prohibited from applying for mainland Chinese household registration or passports. Mainland Affairs Council (MAC) Minister Chiu Chui-zhen reiterated in an interview on Tuesday that anyone found to have violated the law will have their Taiwanese citizenship revoked. He noted that in the past, the government has implemented programs requiring Chinese spouses of Taiwanese citizens to relinquish either their Chinese or Taiwanese household registration. When asked about the case of wanted criminal Lin Jingchen, head of the Guangzhou Taiwan Youth Entrepreneurship Park in China, and about what percentage of people whose Taiwanese citizenship was revoked were fugitives who have fled to China, Chiu said the number was likely small. Lin, who has multiple criminal records in Taiwan and is suspected of being an intermediary of United Front work, fled to China in 2020 to evade arrest. His Taiwanese household registration was canceled in March this year after it was discovered he held Chinese identification. Chiu explained that deregistration of a citizen's household registration requires concrete evidence and a rigorous verification process confirming that the person has indeed obtained Chinese citizenship before local authorities are notified to proceed with the deregistration process. U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio and other senior officials opposed Nvidia CEO Jensen Huang's lobbying to loosen curbs on chip exports to China, preventing discussion of Nvidia's Blackwell AI processor at last week's Trump-Xi summit. The Wall Street Journal reported that President Donald Trump had considered raising Huang's request ahead of his October 30th meeting with Chinese leader Xi Jinping in Busan. But aides warned that allowing Blackwell sales would bolster China's AI data center capacity and undermine U.S. security. With opposition from Rubio, U.S. Trade Representative Jemison Greer, and Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick, Trump opted not to broach the topic. Days later, Trump said on CBS 60 Minutes, the U.S. will let China, quote, deal with Nvidia, but not on the most advanced chips, adding, we don't give that chip to other people. Huang has argued Washington should reconsider broad China curbs, saying export control risks ceding the world's number 2 AI market and accelerating Chinese self-reliance. Nvidia has floated a lower spec Blackwell for China if permitted, but approval remains uncertain. Thanks for joining me for the news. I'm Joey Chow. Stay tuned for another 50 minutes of English language features brought to you by Radio Taiwan International.